Okay, so we are going to be moving on to the actual final project for 1 Point Perspective, and that is going to be doing both your first and your last name in 1 Point Perspective. So for this one, I'm going to say again, try to find the center of your paper, roughly the center of your paper, and just make a little dot. This is going to be where your 1 point where everything's going to go towards it. So, for me, you guys will do your first name up here, and then your last name will go on the bottom. If you have like a really, really, really long name, you can shorten it a little bit if you'd like. If your name is 10 characters long, that might be a little hard to fit, but do your best to fit everything you can. So for me, I'm just going to start up here, and I'll just put check for my first or my for my name. So how you're going to do this is kind of like making block letters, and I will be leaving you guys some papers to help you with that. But what it looks like is just like bubble letters, but think more blocky, almost like Minecraft, if you can think of it like that. So for my C, I'll start by using my straight edge and just starting to get it started. So right now that's a very crude looking C, but we're going to kind of block it out. So I'm going to put my ruler down, put a little line on each side, and start to come in. If you have to use your phone to see how some of the block or bubble letters are made, you can do that. Again, I don't want you like on Snapchat or anything, but you can use your phone for that. So there is a very crude looking C, but that's okay. Just like you did with your boxes or your veggie straw assignment, whatever, you are going to be going from one corner down to your vanishing point. Got some clay in my ruler, it looks like. In every corner that you possibly can do, you're going to make a perspective line to your vanishing point. Okay? And we'll be erasing some of these later. So I'm not going to go from this corner because if I go from this corner down to my vanishing point, I'm going to be cutting through my C, and I do not want to do that. So instead, I'm going to be going from the inner corner, and I won't go all the way just because it, again, would cut through my lines. This corner I'll do, and this corner I'll do. Notice I'm always using my straight edge while I'm doing this. I'm not going to do this corner because, again, it's going to cut through my C. So now we just have to look at our horizontal lines and our vertical lines to make sure that they're going to be which way we're going to end this. So I'll start at the bottom. I'll just drag my ruler down a little bit, and I have my horizontal. So I stopped right here. For this vertical, I'm going to slide it over to where I ended on my horizontal and make a line. This line and this line are the same, so I want to make sure that this line is the same up here. So I'm going to take my ruler again and just complete it. Now that we have this little bit of information, we can complete the inside part. So I'm going to take my ruler, slide it down to right about there, stop, and then I will slide it down to here. So there is my C, my first letter, in 1 Point Perspective. We have all these extra remaining lines, so I'm just going to go through and erase those. As you do this more and more, you don't need to go all the way to your vanishing point. Because we're erasing so much, if you just go out a little bit, I'll do that in my next letter. I'll show you what that looks like, but you don't have to go all the way out if you don't want to erase all these lines. Okay, so there's my C. With this kind of partially erased, I'll do a better job with erasing later. For my Z, I want to keep everything on the same plane. So if I started my C on this plane, and it ended right there, I'm going to keep my ruler on that line, except I'm just going to start my Z, which is the next letter in my name, right there. And the same is true for the top part. So I'll start up here and come across. So if it's up to you how, if you don't want them all on the same plane, I guess you don't have to do that. I just like the way it looks when it's all kind of nice and neat. But that's me. Might not be you. And you'll notice I'm still using my ruler for everything. it is important that you do that. It looks kind of unfinished if you don't have the ruler on there. It looks kind of sloppy. So I'll bring up my next line. Now for the boxes, I told you that the only diagonal that you're going to have is going to be going towards your vanishing point. For this, however, we're going to be having more diagonals. So like in my Z, I'm coming up to where there should be a diagonal. That's fine as long as I know where they go. So now I just have to make my Z. So there's the start of it. And I'll finish it off right here. Okay. So there's my Z, not in 1 point perspective yet, just kind of a block letter. So it's a different diagonal that does not go to your vanishing point, but that's okay because it's not meant to. Only these perspective lines will go to your vanishing point now. So again, I'll start the same way, and this time I won't go all the way down to my vanishing point. I'll start up here and come down, next corner, line up my vanishing point and my corner, make a little line, another little line, do the same up here. I won't go from this corner because that's going to cut through. If I go from this corner, I'm going to cut through. This corner, however, I will. Won't be much, and then this corner I will as well. That's pretty much the same as the C then. So I know I already have the bottom of this right here, so I'm going to put my ruler on my C, the bottom line. I'm going to do the same to my Z. And I'll stop it right there. And then I will come up. And you can see it's not much of a line, right? It's just barely there, but it's enough to show you that it's in perspective. Next, I'll go to the bottom of my C and come across. I'll stop on the diagonal. This line is the same as this. So this line that I just made needs to be the same there. So I'll put my ruler back on it. Make it up there as well. Here might be the tricky part for some of you. Because I keep putting my ruler on the line direction of the original block letter, when we come to these diagonals that don't go to the vanishing point, we just take our ruler and we slide it over. We're just mimicking what's already there. We're running a parallel line to it. So that is what my Z would look like in 1 point perspective. We have diagonals that don't point to the vanishing point. That's okay because the corners, they still go to the vanishing point. And you can see for this one, I didn't go all the way down to my vanishing point, so now erasing makes it a little easier. And I would just continue through. I go CZ, then I go to E, CH. Well, you guys will do your first name, of course, and then you'll do your last name on the bottom. The entire thing on the background needs to be colored in. I would like you guys to try to do something with the vanishing point. I will have examples out for you to see what people have done in the past. Not that you should copy, but just so you can see. So one example might be if I was working on my background, maybe I would do something like this that goes all the way across behind all my letters. Once I'm totally done with my name, I'll just do a couple more. So we have these like kind of like a starburst effect coming out. If you pretend that goes all the way around all my letters. And then maybe I just do these little arcs to make it look like they're kind of popping out. And you can color it then from there too. You don't have to do that type of background. Anything that you do in 1 point perspective is okay with me. If you want to do more like veggie straws or boxes bursting out from the background, you can do that. Something that's colored and used as a 1 point perspective in the background as well. It shouldn't take away from the name though. You should still be able to see your name. It should be behind your name, as you can see here. So that's it really. It's just kind of a lot of work to get going, but once you understand it, it shouldn't be too hard. You will have class time to do this, and you can always rewatch this video or email me if you have any questions. Okay, thanks.